The Origins of Life, Waves of Light, Part 4. Alright, so obviously with cheetahs, leopards and jaguars with the spots, we covered them before, but I think we were a little bit unsure. I'm kind of still unsure a little bit, but there's several things. There's the sun, obviously, is like one to be mentioned and stuff. Like the brightness of the sun, how it kind of like burns the retina in a sense. So it kind of like or burns the lens or the negative, you know, how it produces its image and stuff. It might not be the sun. I've got alternate ideas and stuff like, but you see, like you've got a smaller one, another smaller one, and see we got like faint ones. So it's they're scattered. It's quite a few, and they're all slightly misshaped as well. So with leopard, it's like a bubble. You got like a shadow area and then a cluster of bubbles on the outside, or a double bubble. Sometimes you get double bubbles. The jaguar seems to be much more consistent with double bubbles. So again, it's still the sunlight shining through, but it's that's more shadow rather than the burn of a retina kind of style of things. So sand. This is the common colour that we find with these cats. Oh, the different, there's so many different colours of sand, isn't there? So, like you kind of like just compare the colours in a sense. You see the sand colour, it's a bit more yellowy. I don't know, you can see it better on ads. So, here we've got a spider. You see, like it said, I'll zoom in here. It's like grey. It's like white, but it's like greyer in parts. I'll zoom in even further, see if it does it. I don't like my screen, the lines at screen sometimes. My phone seems to pick it up, but I don't know if it does it on actual stream. We'll go to back anyway. This is easier. You see up froth, up wave, so it's kind of like all white there, and then it all breaks up. And you got like smaller bits and then chunkier bits, and then it, there's less kind of as you get deeper into the ocean. So at the front you can see wallet wave where it's black. So you've got that aspect of things. You've got a bit of white coming in at the bottom because like the water's rushing back in. And then this would be the previous wave. So you've got the eyes at the front where the wall is, and then all the froth as it's already thinning and breaking down and all that kind of stuff. There's even some gaps. So examples of that. As it rolls over, it's all white and then it's all breaking up in it, which we've all seen a million times, haven't we? But so these patterns as well. You can see like all of it and stuff. So newts, salamanders, and all those kind of things. Fish, guppies, they have all these patterns on them. So like you can see rings, but then they turn into these other patterns. So it becomes less distinguishable, or less obvious that it's the sun, or maybe it's not the sun, or it is about the communication between the ocean and the sun, though. So it's all to do with the sun. The sun's like involved in all of it. So here on a stingray, you can see like the brightness of it and stuff. So that looks like the sun. It's got to be the sun as that one. You see on butterflies how it kind of gets dark in the middle and then bright on the outside, or it can do it inverted. Like it can be bright inside and then have a dark ring on the outside sometimes. Ah, yeah, like this example. Because I can't tell if your phone picks it up. When I watch stream afterwards, I can see them, but like as my phone is now and stuff. That one, I like the colour of it and stuff like. There's like a tint of red, a tint of green on edges and stuff like. But it predominantly looks like the sun more than anything else. Also, because the water's always moving in it, it's got like peaks and troughs and stuff, so it can bend the image and stuff. So you got like a stretched one there, another stretched one. I suppose another aspect would be like there's more waves at the edge, so that's why there's more reflective surfaces to catch the sunlight. That'd be a deeper body of ocean. So you can see hot bubbles and pattern a bit. I saw that spider more than else in there. I should got another example of. See on the other side it's got those gaps are mirrored. And they're also the same colour as eye as well. But mainly the froth. And then association of that with other animals you see and stuff. You see your patterns. I mentioned on a previous one I will look like clouds, which is a good idea, but we'll come back to that. So here's an example of bubbles. So you got like a bubble, and you got the light going through it. It's at an angle, so it's shadows over there, but you can see a little bit of light in there, or it's thinner there, and there's like a dark edge to it. So there's no bubbles at edge, so you can see what it's like in that kind of sense compared to the next bubble. There's got like loads of bubbles at edge, and they were like clustered together like that. So then if you have like two together, then you got like bubbles around them, and then that's like the leopards and the jaguars. That's how the light focuses around it and stuff. And it's like all the white, that's going to cause all the shadow. And bounce the light in different directions, and so you got the white spot in the middle and then the outside with a dark ring between them. It's an example where it's dispersed even more. So you've only got a few bubbles left, so it's much more like how you can get for your cheetah, and it's just got black spots. You've got different ones as well, different sizes, so it correlates to it, but it could still just be the sun, whereas the cheetah, the jaguar and the leopard both have that extra pattern to them, like they seem to split and stuff, more like bubbles in this kind of sense and stuff like. But if these are too big, they need to split up a little bit more. I kind of think like that previous one like that is more better for leopards and cheetahs. But these are still relevant though, when you see this kind of pattern and stuff. All this pattern. Not so much for cheetahs and stuff, but the green as well. That green in the ocean at back. Because you see quite strong colours sometimes. I suppose I'm going into that now. I'll eat pebbles. See, this is another aspect. Rather than it being light bouncing around a bubble or just being light itself, it could be an absence of light. So, like a cheetah has black spots because there's a pebble in the way. So this thin water is the reflection, which has been repeated onto the cheetah. But you know, if there's like an abundance of pebbles amongst it, you know, it almost evenly spread out, but random at the same time. You know, just like a cheetah. You know, it's a potentiality, a possibility. But I still think of the sun because of the communication. But I didn't want to show it anyway. Like I said, the bubbles are quite relevant for the jaguar and leopard. It's another example with pebbles. You know, dense, you know, the amount of them. Oh, also the colours. You can help pebbles. It could be relevant. But I think, you know, more to do with, oh, hang on, actually. I'll go on to these. So, like we were talking about clouds, and we've got all this froth and all that kind of stuff, like, so your wave's gone, and then all the froth is remaining, and that's what these patterns are, rather than it being clouds. So, like when we were talking about horses and cows and the previous series, I keep looking and I keep seeing froth. So it's like the clouds and the cows, sorry. It's like a big patch of froth, you know, and because it does become patchy. We've got patches of, you know, where it's absence of froth, and rest of it is a big piece of froth in it. So different animals seem to display different varieties of how much froth there is. I suppose, no, seals, they have like a different variety of themselves, don't they? But they have it in a certain area, you know, it's like a certain pattern that they'll have. Sometimes we'll have like more froth than the next seal, but that's a shape as well. So it's like the ocean. You see, can I zoom in? Yeah. I'll twist it around as well. Oops. You see the ocean? See all them lines? It's like that time lapse just for a second, and you've got it because it moves. So it's kind of like part of it. It's like a wave. It's about to turn over and become its heart shape. All froth. And when the young were all white, so it's like, you know, it's like that big all frothy waves at the beginning. When you get to the ocean, like the first waves, is you get it from ducks and lots of animals. You get it on dogs. You see all froth, all patches of froth, and you know where ocean is and stuff, where dark area is. It's all patches. It's all like Dalmatians as well. I think Dalmatians and cheetahs have got the same kind of marking, really. Maybe there's a difference, but so here you've got your white froth. All your ocean's got that dark colour, and then here you've got your pores which are crashing into the ocean. These lines, I discussed them, I think. I might not have. I can't remember. I've had a few attempts at doing it at the beginning, but you know, I'll explain it now anyway. See the lines where all the whiskers come out, you know, like individual waves. It's like, you know, it's a micro of a macro in a sense, in every sense, because we're all doing that micro macro aspect of things. So, you know, because it's got its paws there, it's kind of like a really good position, because this is where the ocean is coming onto the shore. So anything that gets into the ocean becomes part of its body. Waves like the wings, like birds' wings on that part what we're talking about. So I walk into town and I see all these people walking with dogs and stuff. I can't stop seeing froth on dogs, so it's like a whole pattern. Really stands out. So here, there's one thing which is the colour. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, you see like how it looks like chrome or like a liquid metal. Zoom into it more. Almost like mercury. So you can grasp like that solidness because we're trapped in time. We're in a photograph. So you can't, if you were there, you wouldn't be able to move it unless time were moving. You know what I mean? It'd be kind of solid in that kind of way. So in that moment, water captures something. Whatever it captures, it's going to use that information. So you see how it looks metallic? So like fish, we're kind of silver. So it's kind of like a metallic kind of element to them. So you imagine it's solid. To that one moment in time, it is solid to the water. It's just that time's flowing, so the water flows with it, same for anything else that exists, but but it's that instance of like in that one split second. The shapes that'll come from it and stuff. So these are about colour. To contribute to what we were saying previously, of what we've been saying so far, sorry. Colour and patterns, So yeah, it was Guppy. So we've got the leopard kind of patterns. I seem like leopard spots, but then it gets distorted into this area and stuff like. Also the colours. So like on the shore, you've got all the reflection of the sunlight. So when we've got this wave, you've got it turning over, like reflection at top kind of thing, and then you can see all blue. So it's it's turning. It's already turned, and then you've got all this yellow area is all the froth and bubbles and stuff from the crashing wave. So it's turning there. That's where it's crashing over, and so all that stuff that's yellow. It kind of looks a bit different, but it's what it is. You can see it splashing out in that kind of sense. So next picture, you see yellow. How that kind of like makes relevance to it. So it's that froth. We're seeing at the top of the wave there. So it depends on angle of sun, doesn't it? But if it were down here, then it's appropriate. It's because it's like on the fish, it's this area which is yellow, and that's the turning at wave part. So again, like the other picture, it's backwards. It's the wrong way around. Another example of that. I want to look through ocean sideways rather than looking from top down because it's quite thin that way, isn't it, if you look down. But if you look through sideways and how the depth of the green and stuff like, because it's another angle which the ocean is used to. So when you think about the colours of the frogs and all those types of things. That one more for colour. So again, for your your leopard spots, cheetah spots and stuff. And now it's turned into this. So this much more like the froth. So this is like the shore, so all the water's drawing back into the body of the fish. So you can see how it distorts. Which brings me back, I need to go back to the cat picture. This one more for colour. The contrast, because you get your warms and your cool colour. So then, like, this is like, it just happens naturally through nature. So, an artist will try and, choose the right colours to make it right and stuff like whereas like in nature, it just does it naturally. So we're seeing this out in the outside, in the macro, but then we see it again on the micro and all the creatures, all the life forms, including plants. So also the ridges, I don't know, it's kind of relevant. It's bubbles in water, but I want to look at this. You see that? Oh, it's out of focus, a bit of water. I kind of think this is something which is relevant as well. It's like the end of the neon tetra on earlier video. You could see like the beads of light at the end of a wave and stuff, and it was like, almost like this. So you see it there. So you get fish scales. Fish scales, sorry, of a circular. And in that sense, it's almost like it's like two things. One, it's like those beads of water in the sense of like out of focus. So this is why you get in your patterns like this. You got like an edge, because like in reality you don't have these patterns, do you? But on the ocean surface, where you get in your pine cone texture, which is repeated, onto the body of the fish, because that's the body of the water, which has got the pine cone on it and stuff. So, it all, like I said, goes back into itself and stuff. So then, it's part of it in a way. It's like each lens. So, like the dragonfly's eyes and such. Amber colour, the blue and orange. And then you think of stuff like kingfishers, there's a lot of creatures with those kind of colours. Yellow and gold and stuff. So, cells. Or cellular patterns in the ocean with cymatics and stuff. You can see it through cymatic pattern, the light shines through and then, it's just that light's refracted through light. But there's got to be like, water can feel pressure. It must be able to, because you've got waves, so as soon as a bit of pressure goes in, something that creates that energy, it moves out, and I kind of think that pressure would apply to like some sort of cellular structure in a sense. In a lot of there's an abundance of things which it applies to, but we see it on like the turtles. We see all these patterns and stuff like. So like the density and the space in between. It's like there's like little gaps kind of thing. So there's no gaps in water, but you see the coloured in parts, the yellow parts, are the part where there's kind of like where the energy and pressure is kind of going through. But the black area is like the loose area, in a sense. So like, if you're in a river, you can tell whether it's moving or not. You know, it's like you can feel power of water, can't you? You know what I mean, right? So like that's the difference. You know what I mean? It's kind of like as the water moves around the water. See, if you fire water into water, you know, like a water gun or whatever and stuff like, then it has to move around itself and stuff, doesn't it? The water with the energy, the stuff up front, it's going to get dispersed. And we're going into really details about things and stuff like that kind of thing, like, but and I want to finish this before going on to it. Because obviously, you know, you've also got bubbles, and that kind of shows yourselves. So in that kind of sense, you've got the formation of it all. You know, because you get like a film to skin out to water. So like when the bubbles, well, you can see it as well, can't you? You can see like how you get like your birefringent, so all your different colours and stuff kind of thing, your rainbow colours and stuff. I can't remember what I'm going to say now. So another example of bubbles. So now we'll get these kind of cell structures. So you know, like a more of a square shape. You know, it's something we really don't really expect. I won't anyway. But in that kind of sense, I mean, I've seen it before when you see like a cluster of bubbles. It's like putting a camera inside a cluster of bubbles in it, and then you can see what it's doing, kind of thing. So like these thin sheets of water that comes with it. How these patterns are. Yeah, it's almost like hands, isn't it? That are tree twigs and bat wings. You know what I mean? With that thin sheet. Oh yeah, bubbles. And the lip of a wave. Because quite often you see a wave crashing, but this is a lip. You know what I mean? It'll roll along like that rather than it's already crashed, I suppose, but maybe too small to crash again. But because this lip it exists in a lot of creatures, you know, like the sides of a beak and stuff. Oh, look at the colours. And see, sometimes the froth gets left and then it dries over. So it's got a different experience of it, rather than just being a bubble and popping. I'm not quite sure what it kind of relates to. Obviously, like cell structures and, you know, there's so much complications about the human body. I'm quite sure that it all can be discovered, you know, like through furthering this kind of thing. Maybe not all of it, but I don't know how far it goes. Again, that lip of a wave, all the froth as well. It's just like noteworthy in a lot of senses. So it's like a lip. I mean, it's got bubbles in it, but if you like ignore the extremities of bubbles and stuff, kind of thing, like you're just gonna like see the lip itself and stuff. And as it moves, you include time to it as well. You have a kind of froth. And you have a kind of froth with all its colour in it. So, like sheep, polar bears, lots of creatures which are like off-white or look mucky, you know? It's kind of like this part of it. I've not got any polar bear pictures. I should have done. But, you know, we got this for reference, and we're going to see a lot more pictures as we go along anyway. And so everything's like, you know, as reference. So when we come to it next time, we're kind of like more familiar with it and stuff. But as it is now, we're kind of like 50 minutes in. So I need to end it, and then I'll get on with the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.